This is my traditional Polish bandits knife. We will explore that term in a bit, so there's going to be a fair amount of talking. I'm claiming it's probably one of the first ones that have been made in the UK. These are traditional knives used by bandits in the Carpathian Mountains. There is more to say about that, quite a lot more. The Carpathians are a 900-mile long mountain range that run really from the Czech Republic through Slovakia and Poland to Romania, and take in bits of Ukraine, Hungary and Austria. So fair old size, really. It's thought that the name may be from the Polish word for robber.
Spójnicki.
Thanks to Mrs T, who is Polish and can pronounce words that I end up strangling myself with my own tongue. It refers to the sort of Carpathian Highlanders, people who were really from the 16th and 19th century. They were viewed by some people as resisting repressive authority and promoting independence. Legend abounds about them, this sort of noble robbers fighting the rich and the nobility, who treated the peasants really appallingly. They were just treated like cattle. So these brave Highlanders would go along and rob them. Very much shades of sort of Robin Hood, really. Their sheaths, they didn't really have them. 20th century ones do, but most of the time they'd be shoved into a big wide robber's belt, as it became known. I think in this term robber, bandit, is quite a widespread one and really has more sort of cultural meaning than actually give us your money type of meaning. So these bumps, also called
Bułki,
are decorative predominantly, but would also be used if you're in a fight. I mean, you know, that impacting on you is going to hurt, and that's probably as much of a part of the weapon as a decorative thing, really. They are likely to have been, it's thought really from the research I've done, they're likely to be as much a utility tool as a weapon, as so often with sort of older knives. So there's three sort of distinctive patterns with these blades. First is the shape of the blade. It's got a good slashing blade, but you can do nice fine chopping with it. It's quite a good size blade. You can also obviously slash with it. Yeah, it'd be quite a nasty weapon to rake across you, wouldn't it? There's the handle, this kind of curious shape of the handle, which is a lot more comfortable than it looks. Mine is a bit square. I really should have rounded it off more, but that's a surprisingly comfortable handle to use. Certainly your hand's not going to raise over the edge of that, not going to slip over the back of that in a hurry. And the third, as already mentioned, are these sort of prongs, bumps, or
Bułki,
as they're properly known. Thank you. So it sets it apart really from other knives. It's quite a nice peasant knife. It's quite an interesting historical knife, and I wonder how many of these actually have been made in England. Certainly, I would have thought none have been made in Dorset before. So that's the basics of the Polish bandit knife. There's a bit of conjecture about the history. It's not quite as clear cut as it would appear or sound. It's one piece of steel with a tang that actually comes up to here. I drilled these pins through and put the third one in more for decoration than anything else, because I think it balanced it up a bit. It looks a bit odd without that, I thought, so put that in. Real nice. Thick brass plate. These are made from brass rod that I actually did on a bench grinder, just sort of holding it at an angle. I have got a video about that, which we'll put in at the end, but I think first of all, let's just look at it. A handsome knife this is. This is a piece of oak that I've gone over with True Oil. A few coats, it gives it quite a nice glossy finish. The blade I've kept some of the forge scale on it to make it look hopefully a little bit antique-y. Doesn't have a particularly prominent cutting profile on it. The originals didn't either, really. They were fairly thin. These pins are quite small, but you've got this nice brass plate. So that's generally what a Polish bandit knife looks like. There are, of course, there's lots and lots of different patterns, but generally this kind of size and shape is what it would have been. A good, handy, all-round blade. Shall we go and see what it can do? This one I saw on an American knife channel and I thought was actually quite an interesting one. Try again. I was going to do some bottle cutting, but I've just noticed that's Polish for fertiliser. which the missus has been using on some of her plants.